Hey guys, today we're jumping into the Star Wars universe with this new Platinum video. When you think about Star Wars, you think of action, lightsabers, and little green men. But instead, we got awful AI, buggy speeder rides, and a lot. You guessed it, we're playing Star Wars Outlaw. The game where you become a smack-bang average hunter across 4 different planets, and that's it.
I'm starving.
So we start off listening to a crime syndicate talking around the table. We jump to our character, who is sent out to go collect credits for someone. And this is where we get our first trophy of the playthrough. We put a bet on the races, and we win. Our next task was to break into a nightclub and steal some documents.
Hey, get that button, buddy.
We get to the documents, but we hit a pressure plate, which ends up sending guards up to our area.
Oh, come on, Preben. Your plans didn't have a pressure switch.
It's K-Bass!
After escaping, we meet up with the new crew for this giant heist.
Mount up. Where are you from?
This heist was to rob Solero. We break into the vault, only to be let down that there's no loot in there, just a male Twi'lek. Just sat there.
Whoa, hi. Yeah, I need to get in.
You're not Zarek Bash.
What is this? Where's my cash?
Windows closing.
Join us and fight the Empire for the future of this galaxy.
What's it pay? We don't have time for this.
Kenny, wait!
We get double crossed, and we wake up with Solero standing over us.
You must be Slero.
Your friends abandoned you.
Friends. Here we go. Whoa. Okay, a little close. Almost there.
We managed to escape on the Trailblazer ship that we stole, and we escape to the planet Toshira. We get a death mark bounty on our head, and we crash land on this new planet. And this is where we get our second trophy for obtaining a blaster, a starship, and a speeder bike. So now we're free to explore this planet. I received my next trophy not long after this, and that is for performing a perfect landing with a speeder. We then run into the Pikes, and we find out their leader, Gorak.
Drag him out. And tell the governor the payments will not increase. I don't know you.
And after meeting up with him, we find out and start learning all about the underworld and all the different crime syndicates that are running.
I have enough friends.
We then get sent on our next mission to infiltrate Gorak's base and slice one of his terminals.
This Pike operation looks huge. They must have a sweet deal with the Empire.
On the way, we find some information about a traitor, but it also trips another alarm. So once again, we're tasked with escaping.
Overthrowing someone like Gorak takes time.
Oh, what we
After the escape, we return to Danka. We decide to get into Crimson Dawn's good books by letting them in on the information.
Want to make a move? One of Gorak's men is planning to betray him. Pike higher up, named Tizlek Shar.
What's the rush? The Trailblazer needs time, attention.
Check out the ship.
With the
next.
help of a friendly mechanic, who helps us get to the Trailblazer and gets it up and running. We're then doing odd jobs around the world. I come across this sad, lonely Quarren, and I listen to his sob story to have another trophy. After a lot more side missions, we're tasked with finding an old cruiser to collect a specific part, a nav computer for the Trailblazer. But once we finally make it to the nav computer, we get double crossed by our friendly mechanic.
Alright, authorization granted. Just need to grab the nav computer. Something's not right about this, Nix. Let's grab it and go. Now. This looks like a nav computer.
Don't be mad, Kay. I mean, I knew what she needed. I know what she's been through.
But he gets shot in behind from another bounty hunter who's coming to claim the death mark on our head. This bounty hunter is called Vale. We button smash the console center and we manage to create an opening for an escape. But this is where we run into a rebuilt commando droid from the Clone Wars era, which saves my life and tells me to run. Once I make it back to my ship, we find the person who has revamped the droid, Jalen Vrax. He has a plan for us and he wants to recruit us for a heist, which is to raid Sliro's mansion again. He also tells us that we need to go round the galaxy to recruit a certain team to be able to pull off this heist.
This job, it's a death wish.
Well, you're already dead, Kay.
We then receive our next trophy for completing all main quests on Tashara. We run into our next trophy for picking 20 locks with the data spike. After finishing the sabotage mission, we also get our next trophy for leveling up our reputation to excellent with Crimson Dawn. We then decide to carry on with the story and we make our way to a new planet, Kijimini. This is where we find out about another syndicate clan on the planet, the Ashiga clan. We speak to this clan to try and recruit our first member, but unfortunately Ankh, the safecracker, is held up in their base. We make a deal with the clan for Ankh to be set free.
Here, Crimson Dawn. Hey, easy.
The Banpudira. Who are you?
Kay Vess, Your Majesty.
She was asking about the bomb maker.
But I also got this relic back for you from Crimson Dawn.
Work with us, and we will let Ankh go free.
We then get told to have a meeting with Krisk, who also, where we can see, is Crimson Dawn. It seems to be they have made a plan to overthrow the Queen. They tell us to infiltrate a weapons factory.
This will take you straight to Ankh inside the Ashiga weapons factory. Get her out, then let's talk.
Once we're inside, we manage to find Ankh, who tells us she needs our belongings. So we sneak into the locker room to find her personal belongings. Ankh then blows up the door to make her escape. And this is where we have to help her escape the factory.
What was that?
We then go
Queen? I don't get it. I'm just here to make sure that Ankh gets through this alive.
through another stronghold to retrieve the origin stand. And we deliver it back to the throne room. And this is where we get an option to either give it to the current queen or to Krisk. I decide to give it to Krisk, and we take it back to the ship. We have a talk with Crimson Dawn, which then gives us another trophy for completing all the main quests. Kijimini. After a few side quests, we jump into hyperdrive to end up at Tatooine. Our next member of this heist that we need is Hoss, but unfortunately, Hoss is being held by the town sheriff after he was arrested. We are also told that Hoss has escaped and has a bounty on his head. So we use ND to try and track him down. After some searching, we find captured by a group of Tusken raiders, who then send us to collect their crate dragon pearl that was stolen, and manage to collect the pearl and give it back to the raiders. They let Hoss go, which was lucky enough for us. We make it back to the canteen where Hoss racks up another debt, and then gives away Nix, which causes a flashback. We then end up going to Jabba's place to break out Nix. We fight our way through the underground routes of the place. We release him from the cage, but then we're brought before Jabba, who drops me, Hoss and Vale down into the pit below. If anyone has seen Star Wars, we all know what's down there. That's right, it's a Rancor. And this is where Hoss meets his demise by a couple of beast dogs. We then run into the Rancor, and this is where Vale and I must team up and be able to take down this huge beast. He does enough damage to the door for us to be able to slide through, but unfortunately, we get caught again. We're taken back to Jabba, and Jabba says if we find the spy that's in his ranks, he'll let us live. And this is where we get our next story trophy for escaping Jabba's palace. We set off on our next task of breaking an Imperial compound. But obviously again, we set off an alarm, which is for us to be able to receive our next trophy, where we disable the security alarm through a terminal while the alarm is still on. So Vale and I get on speeder bikes, and we make our way to specific locations. It looks like we were double crossed, and the Empire show up in force to take us both out.
Bib. Hello.
Lucky enough, we were saved by the Trailblazer, but it also seems that Solero is speaking with Bib about double-crossing Jabba without him knowing.
No. To make you an offer, Fortuna. Work with me, and I can help you take that palace for yourself one day.
Duhako Jijama, Diduba Naga Tuta Genulia, Tis Grani Pagua.
Tell me what you know about Kay Vess.
We get our next trophy for completing the main tasks on Tatooine. Once we've done more quests and acquiring better gear, I then decide to go for another trophy. They live up to their name. This trophy is for clearing the manhunt level, wanted level, by eliminating a group of death troopers that spawn in. I then make my way to a trusted merchant and purchase a VIP item which awards me another trophy. We also receive a trophy again for blowing up a ship, but without using our cannons or missile. So basically we just batter them around the ship. We then make our way to the last planet, Akiva, and this is where we search for a droid smith, Gadik.
That's right. Dealing wildlife trafficking, rebel activity.
Aren't they friends of yours, Kay?
Sure. And I owe them after our little run-in on Kanto.
Ah, you're all using sarcasm. Excellent.
We need a gifted droidsmith to get past the gatekeeper. You say Gadik's our guy? I believe you.
We are told that he is in an Imperial compound. I must break into another compound to rescue the droidsmith. So that means trying to be stealthy and fighting a lot of enemy forces again. After we get deeper into the compound, we finally run into Gadik. tells us that there is a little problem. He's created a new and a better version of the Viper droid.
Couldn't be. There's no way she would show her face here.
Once I escaped the base, I hopped onto my speeder bike and I travelled back to meet up with Gadik and I receive another trophy for discovering all the planet areas in this time. I then do more missions to increase my reputation with the crime syndicates, and after doing a mission for Surat, my reputation for the Pikes went down to the point where they put a bounty on my head. But it also gave me another trophy for reaching the worst reputation with a syndicate. I then moved to Gadik's contacts.
Someone had a rough landing.
And I get ambushed by a Viper droid. His contacts finally decide to help me after being ambushed. And once we destroy the Viper droids, we find out that the contacts are rebels, and we have a bad history of rebels, so we refuse to work. But Gadik seemed to manage to get us on board, which involves us raiding another Imperial compound. After sneaking through the compound, we disable the defensive grid, which means that we can make our way back to Gadik, and this is where we run into a glitch. We jump off the ledge and we fall through the floor, and to our death. I just carry on with the run as normal, and nothing else really seems to happen, so we carry on and we finally make our way back to Gadik, and he wants us to secure the droid lab.
Field's down. We good?
We learn that Endy's
ND5.
power core is failing. He won't last much longer unless we get him a new one.
It's nothing. We should get moving.
We take the Viper droids and we use them to help the rebels in the hangar by cleaning out all the stormtroopers. We leave the hangar, which then causes another trophy to pop for liberating the Viper droids. Once we get into space, we get another trophy for destroying a Raider-class frigate to clear a wanted level status. And after escaping the Empire, we're about to find out about our new splicer. But Endy's power score is failing, so Gadik and me speak to Terraman to see if he has any special parts for the droid. We then go through all the underground tunnels and we finally reach the droid factory.
Sure, but that control panel's fused. I'll find another way to get through that door.
Our next trophy pops for slicing 20 terminals. And then we manage to regroup with Endy and Gadik, and we run into rebels hiding away in this hidden base. They make a deal about us helping each other. If we recover their captured team, then they would help us with ND.
Deal.
So we save their team, and we get back and we fix ND.
The Empire's here.
That's not the Empire, that's Zarek's badge.
I don't okay, but get my team out of there.
ND?
It's a miracle he lasted this long.
We also find out that the splicer is, and we're not very happy about it at all. The slicer for this team was our mother, who we haven't seen since she abandoned us. But we get another trophy.
We need 2 slicers, right? Well, here's the best of the best.
Not her. Looking forward to catching up, kiddo.
Why are you here?
Jalen said you needed firepower, and rebellions aren't cheap, so.
So we can add this one to the list for completing all the main quests on Akiva.
Infiltrate the meat, get the key.
We then talk with Jaden on board the Trailblazer, who talks about everything. And he just goes on and on about family and persuades us to finish this job. But before we resist, we have to do an awkward mission with our mother, which we are so reluctant to do, but we decide to get on with it. We get an Imperial shuttle, we sneak on board in another Imperial compound, but this time in space, and we now must break in to get some information. We run into complications of me not being stealthy, so I set off alarms yet again. We got lucky enough though that I managed to stop the alarms and go back to sneaking through. We get into the data room and we wipe the droid's data. And after that, we start to escape again, but we find out about Salero's hidden secret.
Where was I? Spent a lot of time around Vipers.
Anybody see her? Wait.
Look. There. Got it. The recordings of me are gone.
Nice work.
That he's actually high in the Imperial ranks. And this is where we see Darth Vader, which I honestly found so awesome.
You stop now? I recoup my losses. Well, this is a surprise.
But Lord Vader doesn't seem happy with his progress. We get into Salero's quarters, and then we take the security codes for his vault.
Those minders show of force allowed a rebel fleet to escape from Hoth. It is the ISB that will win this war. I'm so close.
And we make our way through to the security terminal, and we slice it. We must then escape the facility with our mother.
I think I found it.
This is where we get our next trophy for learning Salero's secrets once we escape.
Okay, let's go. For the rebellion, right? Ha!
Before the final heist goes off, we get in front of everyone and we tell Salero. We tell them about Salero's secret, and if they wanted to still go through this mission. I decided that the plan could be pulled off, so we pushed through. We travelled back to Salero's mansion, but obviously his security has increased massively. So we must fight our way through a lot of his guards that are blocking the way to his mansion. We go underneath through all the tunnels until we reach the vault. We get to the energy barriers and the turrets. So we slice the terminals so we can have access, and we lower the barriers and we turn off the turrets. We manage to get to the vault, but we have to survive an attack from Salero's syndicate. After surviving this attack, Salero and Vale comes in.
Anything you're waiting for?
But Vale turns and saves us and gives us a bit of time, which we manage to use and escape to the Trailblazer, flying out there. But this is Star Wars, so there was another double cross from Jalen.
Like Salero, I'll give the Empire everything they ever wanted while making millions.
What's your deal with Salero?
Just tipping the scales, Kay.
It's not me, Kay.
We get another trophy for completing the main quests in Canto Blight. We then sneak onto an Imperial station to rescue ND from Jalen's grasp.
Trooper, where are you taking this prisoner?
Just standard
We manage to get onto Celero's escort up to the bridge, where we find out that Jalen is Celero's older brother, and we watch him kill his brother.
Jalen.
The Empire accepts your terms, Jalen Rex.
That we're brothers? Felt like a detail.
You've no idea what you've done.
I know exactly what I've done.
You always did.
I really thought I'd feel something.
Now, we must escape from ND, with a plan in our head to shortcut him, and we're able to rescue him from Jaden's grasps.
Me too. Andy?
Okay.
I didn't think you had it in you.
ND saves us from Jalen and shoots him straight through the chest, and we all escape from the Star Destroyer. And with the help of Crimson Dawn, we take out the Star Destroyer, and this is where we get our last story mission for destroying the Star Destroyer.
Fighting next to rebels. I didn't see it in you.
We all make mistakes, right, Kira?
We're taking hits. Picking up internal explosions. And a chain reaction in the Revelator's ion drives.
Now that the story's over, now it's time for the cleanup. For whatever we didn't get through while we were playing through the story, we can now get. So our first trophy will be performing a 30-second drift. So we travel to Tatooine so we don't hit anything and interrupt it. The next trophy we get is for eating all the street food vendors around the galaxy. There's only a total of 4, so we visit all 4. We then get another trophy. We then get another trophy for reaching maximum clan reputation with the Hutts. And we also use a corrupt Imperial officer to get rid of the bounty on our head for another trophy. We then finish the expert quests to be rewarded with another trophy. We finally managed to upgrade our blaster to its maximum, which would then give us another trophy. I then defeat 20 enemies with weapons that Nyx has retrieved from me for another trophy. We then cheat in Sabak against Lando, and we still achieve a victory, which then drops us another trophy.
Alright, Lando. Time to...
I then use my talent to kill 5 enemies in an adrenaline rush while on a speeder. And then I also use another adrenaline rush to kill 6 enemies to receive these 2 trophies. Our next trophy comes from slicing 10 advanced terminals. We then search through all of Jet Cordo's vaults scattered around the galaxy. And we also received the trophy for collecting the Scoundrel set. I spent some time playing a game, inside a game, to receive the highest score for our next trophy. We then pickpocket at least one person in every canteen to give us another trophy. And after a lot of trying, we finally managed to destroy a ship after doing a loop in space. We then destroy 10 enemy ships in the nebula cloud. We also get the Syndicate reputation to the maximum level. And then we also can complete 40 contracts for our next 2 trophies. We then get our last reputation up for the maximum for the trophy. Then we task ourselves to destroy one of each Syndicate flagships without damaging the hull, which will then give us another trophy. We then scour the galaxy, finding all of Nick's collectibles. We then acquire the Disruptor set. And then we use Fast Talk 20 times to stun enemies. We also use Nyx to blind 30 enemies then when we send to attack them. And then for our last trophy, we fly up from a planet in a fully upgraded Trailblazer, which awards us our last trophy, and then we get the Platinum trophy popped. So overall, I love Star Wars, but for me this game wasn't it. I don't know what it was. It had a good premise of doing and becoming something, but Ubisoft really let us down on this one. It just bugginess, glitchiness, there's just stuff that just didn't make sense, and it just didn't feel like a proper Star Wars Outlaw game. Like, it's, yeah, I've got no words for it, honestly. I'll give this game a 6, maybe even a 5. But yeah, that's all guys, so thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, comment down what games you want me to try and platinum, or what sort of videos you'd love to see in the future. But as always guys, peace.